Okay. Okay. Things are working. Live on YouTube, live on Twitch. Ad break is gonna start in like a minute, but whatever. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Daily Peak. Just tweaking my music real quick. Hey, how you doing, Digi? Nice to see ya. And yeah, you get trapped in the ad dimension immediately. Sorry about that. Bleh. Yeah. My ads manager just said it as starts in 0, and it's not giving me a duration for how long it should be lasting. So apologies to the Twitch audience for being in the forever ad, I guess. For being trapped in the eternal ad. Oh, ad break ends in 1 minute 20 seconds. Okay. That's something. Blech. I'm just waking up, first off. If you can't tell by how my voice is. Um, but I am also... I'm doing some chatting on the Mound Makers server. Because I plan to host an incredibly important interfactional event the moment I get Kingdom status, which I plan to apply for in the very near future. Because I think we're there. I think we meet the requirements.
Do you ever feel like maybe something went wrong? You ended up here by mistake? Like, it took me 28 years to find anyone who made any sense to me, and I just feel so outside of everything. And I just want to be good. I just want to be good. It's so fucked up. Like, it should have been a sign that something was wrong. But it's just so easy to think you're broken and evil.
Bleh. But yeah, I want to host an interfactional game night, like a tabletop games. And I'm looking to yell at the lords of the kingdoms to basically get everyone together so we can play board games. Heart emoji. Yeah. And if I can manage it, it will be the largest unifying peace summit, quote unquote, on the server.
I feel a lot better now.
Anyway, welcome back to the Daily Peak, everybody. Looks like the Twitch ads are over, so I am going to go ahead and crack my energy drink, which is a Lost and Found Orange Scream, and take my meds. If you guys have meds to be taken, you should do that too. Blah. But like, we have the tabletop games mod on the server, and I'm so rarely seeing people playing tabletop games on this server. So I want to have board game night. And we'll play chess and stuff. It's gonna rule. Yeah, they have a lot of very classical board games on. Okay, Vintage Story has this mod. It's the tabletop mod. It has been very lovingly crafted to allow for you to play a lot of very classic tabletop games, including but not limited to. Let's see, you got chess, you got Go, one of the oldest board games in existence. You have Nine Men's Morris is on there. You can play checkers. It's on the same thing as a chessboard. So they have a deck of cards, which will just let you play whatever. My faction is explicitly communist, so I'm planning on hosting like a gambling thing. Except it's just everything that goes to the house is dedicated to like an interfactional political effort. Like getting the Yalakian Canal set up or whatever. But yeah, we have the board games mod. We should be playing more board games. But yeah, I plan not to be too specific about what exactly the event is, outside of saying it's very important and then implying it's very silly. So I'm gonna go out of my way to be like, yep, I require, the presence of the lords of both kingdoms as well as many of their subjects as possible. I request the presence of the Artorian Knights as protection for this event. That kind of stuff. And they turn up and it's game night, and I have snacks. I'm sitting at the end of the meeting table like, yes, I've called you all here for a very important meeting. I just have a fucking, like... I've got fucking Go Fish in front of me. But yeah, we have the opportunity to play all of these, like, classical historical board games. And we're just not taking it. I want to learn how to play Nine Men's Morris. I learned how to play Go with the fucking God. I had a gambling game with God, wherein I learned how to play Go. I've played chess with some merchants as well. I'm doing my best to like pull out the board games at every opportunity. No, yeah, I've quite literally played Go, the game of capturing territory with God, aka the server owner, who you call God informally because their actual title is Demiurge. So, you know. But yeah, there was like a little, I don't know, some like plot important guy turned up to one of the prospectors' settlements. God followed. There was a little like interaction there, and I turn up like late to the proper story interaction. And God has like threateningly pulled out a game of Go, and it's like, oh, you play Go? I've been meaning to learn. Like an excited puppy, I pull out all of the supplies that I've created for this. I spent the night playing Go with God, and it was great. They're good at Go. They won 2 out of 3 games, but I got them in the second, and that was my second game of Go ever. So I'm pretty happy with myself. Yeah, Go. Ancient board game about capturing territory. Wherein basically you've got like little stones that you put on a board of intersecting lines. You put the stones on the intersections, and you can only place them like directly, not only play, but whatever. You're trying to capture as much of the board's empty space as possible, and you can also capture other people's pieces, though you can't place pieces in a move that would get them captured instantly. Or rather, you can, but why would you? So it is gentleman's rules to point that out, instead of just taking infinity of your opponent's pieces. I say gentleman's rules when no one involved was a man, nor particularly gentle. Rough woman's rules. Yeah, I've got like a deck of cards. I've got a fucking Goban. I've got a Nine Men's Morris board. I have like 2 chess boards. And I've donated a few like tabletop games to adjacent kingdoms and stuff. But like I'm not seeing people playing. I have a deck of cards. I had to make a deck of cards. You gotta make paper in this game from pulp. Took a while. But yeah. I want to play board games. Just the pleading face emoji. But yeah. I made custom pieces for Nine Men's Morris. Because your pieces are called warriors, but it's just played with like the go pieces. So I made little dudes. Because there's like microblock chiseling in the thing, so you can put a lot of detail into things. So I made custom game pieces for Nine Men's Morris. They're really fun. I like it. I'm having such a good time making all the pieces. I would like to play the games though. So I make a private fucking group chat with all of the fucking faction leaders. For the sole and great purpose of playing board games. Yeah. I'm having a good time on this server. I'm doing a lot of like politicking. And all the talking to people is like really helping me get more confident in my ability to communicate with others. So it's really nice. But also like I'm just making a lot of friends. Mm-hmm. The Tabletop Guild. Heart emoji. I'm doing so good. Thank you, Pyrite. I need this kind of reinforcement in my day-to-day life. I am a creature of whimsy and I cannot be killed. Oh, the Lamplighter would also be absolutely sick at backgammon. Yeah. Backgammon is a game that you can play. It's one of the alternate states of a Go board. Yeah, I'm working on remodeling the High Fort of Stoneholm, and that's the public access area where we're going to have like meeting halls and a tavern. So like, you know, why not? Why not invite a bunch of people over to play board games once we've like finished renovating the public hall? I mobilized the largest infrastructure project in the world to get roads to every settlement for the sole purpose of making it easier for people to play board games. Plus, like, my personal Go set uses meteoric iron and quartz pieces. Right? For everything else, I've been using typically a mix of basalt and chalk, as well as various wood types. You need a solid variety. You know, my personal Go set that I used to play with God, by the way. Those quartz pieces have been held by the literal god of the world. Like, the one true divinity. I think my Goban is technically sacred. It's just one of those things. But yeah, no, I am similarly annoying about board games in like every universe. Heart emoji. In real life, it is various TTRPGs If I existed in the medieval days, I would have learned about chess and immediately devoted my entire life to playing it. Look, the funniest part of my character having played Go with a god, is that my character fully doesn't believe in this god. My character doesn't give much credence to any like ideas of divinity or anything, and instead takes a perspective that is kind of along the lines of ancestor worship, where it's like, I don't think there is a distinct divine that is like present in the universe, but I do think like this the spirits of your forefathers, of your ancestors, hang around, and they try their best to help you out. Which is why there are patrons for the various settlements. That's why Stoneholm has the patron of Stoneholm, the Lamplighter. Whose most notable deeds, I know, I have a decent amount of, like, I mean, it's not nearly as much as other people, but I've got a little bit of lore slapped together, which is basically just, yes, the Prospectors Guild existed before the world collapsed. Back then it was largely the same kind of organization as it is now, because it was, the modern one was created in the Ancient One's image. And yeah, the one of the notable things that happened is Fort Stoneholm was one of the deepest mines in the world, and thus one of the first places where the rust intruded. And it's noted, and it's like, yeah, one of the first big, like, movements of rust monsters was in Stoneholm. A nest larger than any that would be seen after had formed down there in the maze-like tunnels underneath Stoneholm, and its occupants were clueless. Right up until an expedition was sent down to discover where all these monsters are coming from. And this, like, end-of-the-world fucking rust hive was discovered. And the Prospector General, the last Prospector General of the old world, was like, okay, for the sake of the stability of the world and the lives of all people, we need to destroy this. And one of the notable things is Old Stoneholm was a lignite mine. So they set the lignite veins on fire. Which caused the entire fortress to collapse on top of this hive. Destroying it and giving enough time to send out a warning to other nations. Ultimately, it did not avert the end of the world, but it gave people time to prepare. That's the, like, the lore that I'm going with. But the, like, patron ancestor that my character decided to devote Stoneholm to, and open the new instance of the guild with, is not that old Prospector General. It is a nameless individual known only... Centralia, but intentional. Yeah. It is a nameless individual known only as the Lamplighter. With the Lamplighter being one of the most important and least desirable jobs in a mine. A Lamplighter goes around and relights torches as they go out, effectively. So they gain like an encyclopedic knowledge of the layout of this mine as they run around and individually relight every torch in the place. And the lamplighter existed at the same time as Stoneholm was collapsed. The story goes that they were towards the surface when like reports first came across, because no one was really warned that the collapse was going to happen. It was too urgent. They couldn't have been. So, like, reports came of smoke coming from the lowest levels of the mines. Ah. And the lamplighter was right next to the exit. They could have fled. They could have been absolutely fine. But instead, they made the choice to turn around and run back into the smoke-filled tunnels, and they saved a dozen lives in the process, eventually dying in those tunnels, having attempted to go back in for more when the final cave-in occurred. Alright, I'll just go around. And that is the, like, ancestral spirit to which the new era of the guild is devoted. And to which the new Prospectors Guild is founded in the name of. And I think that's a really beautiful, like, story and sentiment. Because, like, yes, there is this hero who, you know, did his best to save the world. And it was a hard choice, but ultimately it was one he was expected to make. The responsibility was not thrust upon him in the moment. It was always his. So it's not... In my opinion, I feel you could say that it is not as noble for people in a position of power to make those hard choices, because it's the expectation that is placed upon them. The thing that, like, can make you a true hero is that decision to... You could have been safe. You could have protected yourself. You would have been fine. No one would have judged you for it. But you turn around and go into the smoke again anyway. Because you know you can help. Because you have that encyclopedic knowledge of the mines. You could travel down there blind, and that's what all of the miners who are being trapped in there have to do. A candle in one hand, you can be the light in the darkness for dozens. A guiding light, which you did not have to be. It's the spirit of going above and beyond, because even though on this same day there are notable heroes, people who made much more of an impact on, like, the fate of the world, those heroes were the ones expected to be heroes. It was their job to be a hero. The Lamplighter went above and beyond the call of duty to rescue as many of their comrades as possible. And they have been honored as the new patron of the Prospectors Guild because of it. And I think that is an intensely beautiful story, and I might be about to cry now. It's got such a deep, like... I feel like it's a very important sentiment to hold when you are making a, an organization like the Prospectors. Specifically when you have created such an organization in response to watching several, like, civilizations fall. Because that's the reason why I made the Prospectors out of game. I watched the town of Honeybrook fall because it was too intensely divided. They created such a stratified class structure that it stopped being fun for basically anyone involved. The nobles got too paranoid, the serfs were oppressed. It all became that like little game of power, and everyone either left the town or left the server. And after that, Lakeside fell to infighting, to like political issues with the fucking like racist asshole who was put in charge of restructuring the place after chasing the previous leader out. That leader, by the way, being Cordelia, one of the first nobility on the server, or at least in the New World era of the server. Not Cordelia, Corvia, not Cordelia. Sorry, their names are close enough that I keep switching them out. You know, Corvia was once the Lady of Lakeside. And now she is a prospector, alongside Looney, myself, a number of other people, because this organization is founded in response to the fall of several towns, in order to be the light in the darkness, the last option to turn to, a force that is always there, as stable as possible. Which will provide basic resources for all players, which will ensure that no one has to be left in the dark. That was always the founding intention. And I make jokes about like communism because that's, you know, the ideology you need to have to build that kind of organization. Yeah. I think it's a beautiful sentiment. I think the thing I'm doing is beautiful, obviously. Yeah. I'm very pleased with myself for what I've managed to do, because we are bordering on kingdom status for that. Sorry. Yeah, no, just going over to, be accused of eating all of the tin. Heart emoji. So you get enough notifications that I gotta check in. Uh... Cut to me in the corner shoving nuggets of cassiterite in my mouth. Now, obviously this was not the effect I was going for. It might actually still work, though. Because I'm just trying to get there. Hell yeah. That was... This is the infighting that will doom the prospectors. Bleh. Oh, hey, recovery fungus over there. That is important, because otherwise I'm not getting back that health that I had lost on the fucking shore. Oh, there's a bit more of a pit between me and that recovery fungus than I expected. Oh no. You love to see it. The tin is yummy, though. Tastes like white chocolate. Exactly. Cassiterite is a perfectly chocolate-colored mineral. I will say that. If you have seen cassiterite nuggets, they do look like little chocolates. And I mean that absolutely unironically. Okay, that's like 3 beehives. That shit is taunting me. Okay, let's see if I can get some honey. Wow, that looks like a good way to lose anything I throw at those beehives. Okay. Bing bong. You are going to have to make a very noble sacrifice for the cause. Alright, now I gotta go find him. There he is. I am barely joking when I say that is the reason why I got Bing Bong. Cordelia is going to kill me? Yeah, happens. Sometimes you get death threats, and that's just, you gotta live with that. But yeah, no, I'm not joking when I say that Stoneholm is plentiful when it comes to tin. Every reading I have gotten inside of Stoneholm has been a ultra high cassiterite reading. I think the lowest I got was a decent cassiterite fucking reading, so...
It should not be hard to get more. Thankfully, because otherwise, Cordelia would kill me, so... And she'd be within her rights.
I will say I did assume that you could,
still work with crushed tin, so it's a little fucked that you can't. I definitely assumed that when I crushed all of the tin. But whatever. It's already happened. We've got access. Maybe it doesn't let you because crushed tin is also a, mordanting agent. Or crushed cassiterite, specifically, I guess. Now, where the fuck is that recovery fungus? There it is. Remedy fungus. God damn it. Alright, I'm gonna see if I get damaged again. Or, like, wait until I fall into a little
cloud of poison ivy, but...
Yeah, that's fair.
Is this gonna be the thing that gets me cooed? Do you guys get to have your coo practice?
Because I would love to be cooed. You know, I just want to know that my people are capable of it. Running a coup isn't like an easy effort, and I'd like to know that you can do it, you know? That you can handle it.
The way I'm not joking when I say I found 2 cassiterite veins while digging out the high fort.
That was actually when I decided to just crush all of it, because it's like, yeah, crushed cassiterite's good for tailoring, and also, you know, you can probably still melt it down. I mean, that's how it works with crushed galena, right? Cut to Cordelia outside of the barracks, making death threats as I have locked myself in. We love consistency in mechanics. One of the two is probably from Expanded Matter. I don't know which one, but... Okay, let's see if I can survive a little death of cold. Just a tiny one. Little frostbite as a treat. You get it, Digi. Also, hey, open invite to any of my viewers to join the Prospectors Guild. If you've got Vintage Story, you want to hop on the Mound Makers server, I would really appreciate any extra manpower. Especially because we have 2 settlements at the moment, and I'm looking at founding a 3rd. Cold's starting to go down. Gamers, I think we're gonna make it. Hunger went up. Lovely. You love a little near death of hypothermia. Hey, it's a good thing I remembered to take off my backpack this time, because otherwise I would have died there if I was still wearing that backpack. Yeah, no, full night's worth of cold gets you exactly 1 stamina bar's worth of cold damage. So as long as you have enough to wait out that last little bit of the timer, you're fine. You can survive not using any temperature items at night. I'm a fucking idiot. As long as you have a mostly full stamina bar. No one look at the lantern in my backpack. That's not there. I didn't forget about it. It just wasn't... It just appeared in the meantime. God gave me that. I will also say that that in-character Vintage Story like ancestral worship situation, I kind of take on a similar view in real life. Not to the same extent. It's like an animist thing as opposed to ancestry, but it's like, yeah, there is some level of, you know, awareness in everyday objects. This is bestowed by the fact that people are interfacing with them, and human imagination can do some weird shit. Because it is always my thought that on some level, human belief is capable of shaping the world as it exists. even if it's not in the most substantial of ways. But there is the fact that humans will, anthropomorphize objects and, treat animals with more agency than they have and all that kind of thing. And I do think that imparts something on these things. Stupidest damage. And you can kind of appeal to them, to some extent, to get them to work outside of their normal bounds for you. If they like you. And, conversely, if an object does not like you, it'll break unexpectedly for no reason. Fun fact, the church that I work at doesn't like me all that much, even though most of the computers in the church are fans of me. I've appealed to the, devices in the church, but the building itself doesn't like me all that much. Because it keeps making, locks malfunction and shit. Yeah. And I say it's making locks malfunction because, we got some computerized locks for the building, and I am nearly certain that one of the big reasons why it has taken so long to get that shit working is just because the fucking... Okay, I'm not coming back from this one. Is because the building is, taking its one opportunity to, Oh, come on, really? The building is taking its, one opportunity to turn a computer against me and really reveling in it. It's these are door locks, they're part of the building. So even though, oh yeah, the office PC likes me, the projector likes me well enough, the tech booth computer likes me, the building itself is that's a fucking pagan and a sinner. Because that church was constructed basically when the Puritans got there. It has opinions. Or at least that's how I've rationalized mysterious tech failures happening. I like the idea that objects have a little bit of agency and they can decide to help out if they like you. So I roll with it. I talk to computers a lot. Anyways, now that I have died, I hate to say it, but that is today's Daily Peak. I appreciate everyone who tuned in today, especially my chatters. Thanks, Pyrite and Digi. I appreciate everyone's viewership, and I will see all of you guys tomorrow. Bye. Oh, actually, before I turn off the stream, I'm looking into modding my game so I can do a little zombie survival situation by just making it so I'm always pursued by a bunch of zombies. We're gonna see how it goes. Bye.